Somebody showed up, starts the show. Let's go. Holy shit, so much is going on.
Yes.
Fucking jump right into it. We've had 48 minutes of free agency. We've had people return to teams. We've had people leave teams. And since the 3 o'clock news of Kevin Durant wanting a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, life as we know it has completely changed. I'm Colin Morris. That is Matt Thomas. We're both doing fine. Matt's engaged now.
And has COVID.
And has COVID at the same time. So he's hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So send movie recommendations to him, please. But let's get into holy shit, the biggest news in this could be the biggest free agent signing, biggest trade in the NBA since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got traded from the Bucks to the Lakers. Like, this is probably the biggest talent, biggest highlight of his career. We're talking about a dude on a 4-year deal, no team, no player option. We're talking about Kevin Durant. This is insane stuff. Matt, what's your initial take?
I was like, well, holy shit, the NBA is falling apart right before our eyes, and falling apart in a good way. I mean, there's a lot that can go down here. It's going to be very interesting to see what can happen. I only think there's a few teams that are going to be able to put together a package that Brooklyn likes. And there are only going to be a few teams that could put together a package that could give Brooklyn some immediate scoring punch. So I know that reports have already come out that the Suns are basically out of the running for now because Brooklyn wants Devin Booker back in any deal, and they want Bam.
That's only Stephen A. Smith I'm hearing say that. I don't believe it.
There's somebody else I saw post that. That's the thing. So
yeah, well, when push comes to shove, and you're going to be looking at, like, also, if your team signs a guy today, don't fucking think it means he's going to be there tomorrow. Like, we are in the world of anything is possible. Look at all these numbers and how they start adding up, and the picture slowly starts to paint itself. Let's go all the way back 50 minutes ago on the dot. We got huge news. First off, about an hour ago, we got the news from Woj that Jaren Jackson is going to miss 4 to 6 months. He got surgery to repair his foot.
We'll get to that, don't worry.
2 big extensions. Number 1.
Three big.
Agrees to a 5-year, $264 million super max contract. We've had 2 super maxes, so they're in
3. We've had 3.
Well, Jalen Brunson doesn't quite count.
I wasn't talking about Jalen Brunson.
Well, let me get through.
Beal.
Oh, Beal. Yeah, okay. Nikola Jokic, 5-year, $264. Devin Booker, 4-year, $214. Booker will also be the cover athlete for 2K23. And
less reason to buy it.
5-year, $251 to stay with the Wizards. Which one of those is gonna be? I would say the worst deal at the end of it. Like, when you're in the last year of the contract, I feel like Bradley Beal is gonna.
Yeah, Bradley Beal
not gonna be a number I want.
Well, it's not only that. It's going to be one of those contracts where he might ask out midway through it unless he's content not winning a damn thing throughout his career.
Right. Like, he basically just got the Klay Thompson deal. And, like, Klay Thompson's in year 3 of that currently. And year 4 kicker comes through. And you better believe I'm happy we just won a championship, because I got no problem paying that guy, $40+ million he's going to make next year. It's going to be insane for those guys. All right. Victor Oladipo agrees to a 1-year deal to return to the Miami Heat. DeAndre Jordan agrees to a deal with the Denver Nuggets. Malik Monk going to the Kings. PJ Tucker on a 3-year, $33 fully guaranteed deal to go to the 76ers. That's pretty impressive. Portland Trailblazers guard Anthony Simons agreed to a 4-year deal to come back to the Blazers. See if they can get that going. Bobby Portis could have been an interesting piece out on the free agency market, but the Bucks have retained him. Tyus Jones is returning to Memphis. No shocker there. Amir Coffey agrees to a 3-year deal with the Clippers. Damian Jones, former first-round pick of the Warriors, agrees to a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that's a great place for him. And a big signing of the day for those sweats out there, Lou Dort got his 5-year, $87.5 million. Get your money, son. That $87.5 million is going to go so far in Oklahoma. It's going to be like whatever deal anyone else signs today that's like a 5-year, $200 million deal, dude's gonna be great. He's already an OKC legend. They love him down there. Matt, what's your biggest what's your favorite small deal of the day? We'll call them small deals, non-max.
The one that just happened of Marvin Bagley to staying with Detroit on a 3-year deal.
Oh, where'd you see that?
That was just reported by, and yes, I'm keeping Twitter up because this is one of those few streams where you got to do it.
Chris Haynes.
Yep, Chris Haynes found his home.
Well, that's good for him. Joe Ingles deal with the Bucks. 1 year, $6.5 million deal. Thad Young on a 2-year, $16 million deal. Mo Bamba is coming back on a 2-year deal to about
that was the surprising one to me.
Year.
That was the shocker to me because you just declined his option, but then you give him a 2-year deal.
Yeah, but the option was going to be like more than that. I'm pretty sure. I
don't think so.
He was the 7th pick in the draft. He was coming up on the last year of his contract. Like, that's still a pretty penny. That's at least $14 million. Sorry, I've been playing way too much 2K this week. I've been just dominating people. I've won 3 championships with the Thunder. Sam Presti, you're welcome. Just adding to that legacy. And then that Jalen Brunson deal. Congratulations, Knicks fans. You paid $104 million over 4 years for the 16th best point guard in basketball.
So here, the option for him would have been 10 years, 10.1 million. So basically, you paid him the exact same money.
They just gave him an extra year of security. Hi, Shug. Miss you too. What's up, Jeremy? Kyrie and KD on the Lakers will be more of a super team than the 2016 Warriors. Well, I mean, Jeremy, that might be true. But as far as I'm concerned, nobody gives a shit because we just saw it not work. I don't know.
I can't say we saw those two work. We just didn't see everything else around.
Sure, but we cannot sit here and low key not trash the last 3 years of basketball for those guys. Yeah, Wall to the Clippers is interesting because then it makes it so that they have bait if they want to somehow trade for Kyrie. Do not think Kawhi Leonard is not sitting here playing these games. Kawhi Leonard knows. Kawhi Leonard went behind Russell Westbrook's back and told Paul George to leave the Thunder. This man is conniving. Y'all think KD is a snake only because he's loud. Kawhi Leonard does whatever it takes to win. Do not be shocked if there's a Paul George for Kevin Durant trade and Paul and KD and Kawhi finally get together like they wanted to 2 or 3 years ago.
Just reported by ESPN, Patty Mills going back to the Nets for 2 years for $14 million. That's kind of a shock to me.
Well, that's 7.5 gone.
What can you do?
The weird one was when they traded for Royce O'Neal.
Their first round pick for next year. Their first round pick for next year.
And you know what's even more sus is that isn't it Sean Marks is the GM?
Yep.
His brother Bobby Marks has been on fucking ESPN for the last 4 hours, making fake deals and stuff. This is insane. It makes no sense. That was all so sus. And then Kendrick Perkins starts Kendrick Perkinsing where he's like, we got to blame Sean Marks. And I'm like, bro, his brother's on the line. Watch your mouth. Then, everyone's kind of Richard Jefferson was just a mob. I watched ESPN for the last 3 hours.
Richard Jefferson. I love Richard Jefferson.
Yo, he was on his bullshit. He was tweeting at teams. Yo, Warriors, at Stephen Curry available. Yo, at Lakers, LeBron James available. Yo, at Bucks, Giannis available. Because, let's talk about it for what it is. Kevin Durant is the biggest trade bait we've ever seen in our lifetimes. Ever. This is crazy.
The last time we had a trade like this out there was probably the Melo deal back when he got traded to the Knicks.
Yeah, way back, Nuggets to the Knicks trade.
Yeah,
that was a big
that's
trade.
The last time we saw something.
That was emotional. You had people in the streets over that shit. That was crazy. That's probably where Bing Bong was born. That's probably where it was said for the first time. But the teams that can offer legitimate stuff, and I'm talking legit shit, Like teams that would actually give up this for Kevin Durant. And we got to classify them into 3 separate like classifications. All right. Teams that are desperate and need a change. What they thought was working was not working. Okay. Teams that are almost there and need that extra bit of help. And then teams that are going to just fucking do it to do it. So
I think there are a couple teams that could fall into both of the last two.
There's gray areas, but let's call it what it is. The Suns, that's like the equivalent of going to a championshipless Warriors.
Yeah.
Like if the 2015 Warriors had never won, it's the same thing.
And here's my thing with that one. I sit here, I'm like, y'all have had all this depth and whatnot for the last few years. You're losing Jay Crowder. Ayton's basically gone. And you're going to trade. And Brooklyn has no interest in a sign and trade for Ayton. So you can't really match contracts there without giving up like Booker or Paul. And then you still got to throw in younger guys like Mikal Bridges. And like, you got to give up too much for that. And you lose depth. And some people are like, oh, yeah, but you're going to attract free agents. What free agents? Because most of them are already gone.
I did not see like all these not going to call them mid, but like non-max people going in the first hour. Once the KD news dropped, I predicted it to be more like the Kawhi saga, where we had those 4 days of the White Walkers standing outside the wall, not doing anything. And we're all like, okay, just do something. If you're going to do something, do it. And there was just so much drama waiting for all that to happen. I just got to think. So the first category is teams that just need a change. Okay, let's start out number 1. Los Angeles Lakers. Some part of that shit ain't working. Because what we can say about the Nets not having all the pieces together, y'all had all the pieces together. Like the pieces were together, and the shit still don't work. If the shit don't work, it don't work. You can't have all that going together. So what's the deal there? Is it AD, Russ, straight up for the other two, for KD and Kyrie? You would have to have some pick swaps. But like if you're trading Kevin Durant and getting back Anthony Davis, this is like, let's go right now.
And see, those two I find like, let's be honest, KD the last few years doesn't have the best injury history similar to AD. So like that right there is about even because they're both top 10 players to me. Durant's in the upper half of that, AD in the lower half. So that maybe like Kyrie has no market.
First. I think after what
you have to throw in a first.
AD, I would need, if we were just talking about the Kevin Durant to AD value, I would need a top
80 and a first. 80 and a first is what I'd say would be fair for that.
If it's just straight up, oh man. That's just so nuts to just get one pick back. Like I would need 2 or 3.
Hey, AD's younger. He's still in his 20s. KD's 33.
34.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So like there's a lot there. Like you just
That's going to end up just having Ben Simmons, who doesn't even want to play, maybe, but they're also going to have Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, there's Joe Harris, any kind of deal. Like this is why I think the Suns deal is appealing. The Suns will give you every first round pick till fucking Devin Booker dies. If they could have Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, like that would be insane. You just fill in the rest. But if you give up Ayton, that has to come in a sign and trade. You do the sign and trade. You give me Mikal Bridges, and you give me Landry Shamet, and you give me Cam Johnson.
Shamet back to Brooklyn.
Yes, but that's the thing, though.
I know. That's what I'm just laughing at.
Net culture, you're building back a not a worse version of that Nets team that made the playoffs before they showed up. The whole reason why Kevin Durant and Kyrie showed up there was they're like, holy shit, look at this Nets team doing all this shit with D'Angelo Russell. Imagine if we were there. Right. And yeah, it happened. And guess what? It fucking sucked. It was terrible. They had like 5 good Sports Center segments. Honestly, how many good Sports Center segments did they turn out over that 3-year run? Like
Not
5.
many.
And one of them was the playoff series where they only played a combined like 3 or 4 games together. And it was nuts. And all of this can fall back and say whatever you want about your standings on whatever, get vaccinated, all that shit. Kyrie Irving did this shit to himself. That is a decision that he made, and a decision that he made affected his basketball team, and now he's being looked upon differently throughout the league. I would not.
And that's why the Lakers are the only team that's interested in him.
Fucking bought him out. That would be insane, but the value for him on a market that has Kevin Durant in existence is extremely lower.
Well, even before KD was on the market, it was one of those things of, well, Kyrie has no market whatsoever. The Lakers were the only team that was interested.
And then nothing happened.
Yeah. And then apparently now that's changing.
Deal, which made it kind of harder to trade him.
Yep.
Why would you opt into your deal? Well, because you knew you weren't going to get that money other places.
The Lakers, he knew
he wasn't going to get that money because people don't even know if he was going to be able to play wherever. Now he has to be traded to somewhere where they know that they can get that max value out of him. And
there's still only one place for that, and that's the Lakers, where they give up Russ. And I think the issue is the Nets don't want Russ. But if you don't want, what you got to decide which one do you not want
Russ
more.
Shows up to work,
and that's what I was about to say. You have to decide which one do you not want more. Do you not want Kyrie more, or do you not want Russ more? That's what you're going to have to decide.
The best ability is
availability.
Bingo, Russ. I'm more team Russ now because it's like, oh, it's Russ or Kyrie. Get Russ out of there. Go save Russell Westbrook, and also just because I would have seen Russell Westbrook succeed, so Skip Bayless can shrivel up in a hole.
But then the Nets won't be able to shoot worth a damn outside of Curry and Harris.
Well, as interesting as it does sound to watch Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook play basketball together, I do think I'd rather gouge my eyes out than actually watch that happen. That would be like the massive jump of going into today, they were plus 460 to win the title. Now they're plus 3,000.
Yikes. I know Connor's gonna hate me for saying this, but one of the most realistic options I think may be a
Lonnie Walker to the Lakers, Tony Brown Jr.
to the Lakers. I just saw that.
Woo! Oh shit! You know where Westbrook needs to go? Real shit. Y'all want to know where Westbrook needs to go?
Jason Tate returns for the Rockets.
Miami. No. Don't go to the Rockets.
No, I said Jason. I said Jason Tate.
I have faith.
I said Jason Tate re-signed with the Rockets.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it to the Rockets. Okay.
No.
We got to get Russ to the Heat. That's my new mission statement. I want to watch Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo play basketball together. Also, let's talk about why Kevin Durant will not go to the Miami Heat. Number one reason why is that they would probably want Bam Adebayo, and because of a really messed up rule, Bam Adebayo and Ben Simmons cannot be on the same team as they are on their 5-year rookie supermax. You cannot have two from the same, at the same time on your team.
Real quick. So, update. The Mavs have offered Jalen Brunson a 5-year, $106 million plus deal, and he is now heading to his meeting with the Knicks in about an hour. And that's from Woj. Also, from Windhorst, minutes ago, Kyrie is focusing on forcing his way to the Lakers.
Why would he have a 5-year, $106 million offer if the initial offer from the Knicks was?
My guess is that
the Knicks offered him a 4-year 106.
No, I said Mavericks offered him.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So then why would the Mavericks offer him a contract that's the same value but an extra year? That's dumb.
I don't know.
That's dumb. That's dumb. That's bad. They should have read the report. The Knicks offered him 4 for 106. You just offered me 5 for 106. I tell you to kick rocks. See you next fall, as Kyrie once said.
I guess their hope is ultimately, hey, you look how you did with Luka. We're going to make you the number 2 guy. Just Just come on. We help build you up. Stay here, man. That's
I just want
probably
the Knicks
their
to play
hope.
basketball. Like play basketball. Stop playing politics. Like stop with all this bullshit. Like they're a terrible organization right now. I love the team they have in terms of like the potential of their players. I love RJ Barrett. I think Julius Randle almost had an MVP caliber season 2 years ago. He was a monster. And we're looking at this from the perspective of a team that is sitting across the river now from a literal palace on fire. Like the Barclays Center, if you live shot of the Barclays Center right now, there's like a fire on top of it. But if you went over to Madison Square Garden, you'd be like, wow, things really aren't that bad over here now. They've really changed over the last couple of days. Who would have thought, everybody, that the Knicks would be in a better position to be successful next year at this very second? At this very second. We don't know who they're going to get for in these trades. But
Troy Brown Jr. also goes to the Lakers.
I said that.
Oh, I thought I missed you saying that one. Okay. Because they had so many.
It was Lonnie and Troy.
Okay. And the Heat are preparing a 1-year deal for Udonis Haslem to return for his 20th season.
Seriously?
Yep.
How much money?
It's just minimum. It's always minimum.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
But did you see this report earlier? I retweeted it. It is from Greg Sylvander. He's a Miami Heat reporter for 5 Reasons of Sports. And apparently Miami has submitted a trade offer for Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, that I want more than Russell Westbrook. Put that in my fucking veins.
Connor's over here like, Haslam is like 50.
Yo,
yeah, but he's a player coach, and right now they don't really have
pay him as such.
Yeah.
Give him a $6 million signing bonus, or like an extra $1 million signing bonus. Like somehow double that contract. Okay, I don't really have a lot more to say about KD and Kyrie. Besides, I don't really care where Kyrie goes. There is not a lot of places.
Whoa! Draymond made noise yesterday, and we didn't even talk about this.
Draymond has been making noise. That's all. Like, he's his own reporter now.
He said that the Warriors would not have beat the Cavs without Kevin Durant. Yeah. I did not know this. Normally we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to say it's good to hear. It's good to hear.
The man speaks the truth. You may not like him, but the man does not lie. Like, he does not tell lies. He tells it how it is. He's straight up as hell. He called himself out for being so bad, even put up his mom's own tweets of her calling him out, and then it boosted him into that. Yeah, he said that on the JJ Redick podcast.
I've been on vacation.
Hey, Matt, quit defending yourself when people call you out for shit you don't know, okay? You don't have to defend yourself every time somebody calls you out.
I said I didn't know it, so it's not like I was just saying. I've been unplugged.
Okay, well, yell at Connor. Don't yell at Suge.
No, Connor's agreeing with me.
Suge didn't say, Matt, you're a fucking idiot for not knowing that he said it on the JJ Redick podcast. So chill out a little bit, baby. It must be that COVID in you. I need the COVID, Matt, to chill out, all right? All right? I need Jedi Sensei right now. This shit's crazy. We got a lot going on. Draymond is killing this shit. Every time he dunks on Kendrick Perkins and Skip Bayless, my heart grows 3 sizes. And I mean that's crazy. Oh, and Connor was talking about the Warriors not winning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's crazy. Honestly, just the way that some of this is played out with like how honest Draymond has really flipped over this offseason into some crazy shit. Hey, Draymond was drinking $700 wine, Connor. Leave him alone. You'd say some stupid shit, too, if you were drinking $700 bottle of wine. He also called out Skip Bayless, and then Skip Bayless called him out. So if we get Skip Bayless versus Draymond Green because of that, and the sacrificial lamb was you guys getting stroked over how much better he thought you were than us without Kevin Durant, chill out. Yeah, duh, Connor. Everybody knew that. Troy Brown to the Lakers. Everybody knew that.
He's just smoking around. But no.
Okay. Let's back into this. What's new? What's latest?
All right. So we slowed down since this flurry. because they came out swinging.
That was a lot.
Yeah, we did miss Daniel House to the 76ers. Javon Carter and Wes Matthew to the Bucks. Batum back to the Clippers. Chris Boucher stays in Toronto.
Look for the Raptors.
Yeah.
Also, I loved what not Mark Stein, but Zach Lowe was saying, look, let's see that every dude on here needs to be like, let's first start with the under 22s. Who's the best under 22 you can go after? And then start from there, build a package around that. If you're the Nets, go after assets, go after dude, and start there. Because if you could get Scotty Barnes, 4 firsts, and Gary Trent Jr.'s contract, or Fred VanVleet, then you got kind of point guard there. That's kind of a fun little trio right there in the backcourt for the Nets. You know, it makes it a little fun.
Okay.
You actually have shooting to supply Ben Simmons. That's a fun way to work that around. I'm really interested in seeing if a team is willing to part with what do they call that? Potential overproduction.
Yep.
That's the name of the game this week. It's going to be potential overproduction and how these teams value it over what does the idea of hell. We got to talk about the Pelicans.
Yep.
This is crazy. I'm gonna keep saying it. This whole thing's crazy. You got the possibility that if Zion opts into a contract, Pelicans are out. That's over. That's been said. If Zion opts into his max, the Pelicans are going to be out of it because then they can't trade him. They can't. It's the same rule that applies with Ben Simmons that would have applied to Bam, like I just said before. So then the trade would have to be Brandon Ingram, which I think is stupid because Brandon Ingram is on the ascension to essentially give Kevin Durant statistics. I'm doing like Moneyball shit here for $15 million less than what Kevin Durant.
And how many years younger? Like fucking 9 or 8?
It's like 8 years. He's like 24. He's like 20. He's 24.
Nick Claxton returns to the Nets on a 2-year, $20 million deal. But no, Connor, I'll say this. I'm not surprised we haven't heard Sexton news yet because Sexton is a restricted free agent. And yes, he's a 20-point per game scorer, but right now it looks like all that money's dried up. So
would you trade Evan Mobley and 3 picks for
fuck
Kevin
no,
Durant?
don't even put that out there. Hell
Evan Mobley and 2 picks.
Nope. I'm not giving up Evan. That's an untouchable.
That's the potential overproduction.
Now, something I floated around earlier with a buddy of mine, Tony Pesta, to match salaries and give them a young player to give somewhat close to production because he can put up the numbers. I floated the idea of sign and trade Colin Sexton with Chetty, Isaac, and a few first, maybe throw in Windler if you have to, for KD. Because salary-wise, that works.
Right, but they're not going to take that deal.
I know they are. But that's
the lamest deal of all time.
It's either that or Love. That's realistically all the Cavs can offer. The only reason
taking Kevin Love.
I know nobody's taking Kevin Love.
The only people that would take Kevin Love were the Cavs that showed up to his wedding this weekend, which was a very cute photo to see.
Yes, it was.
It was a very cute photo, and I bet Matt was like, "Oh, this is the best picture ever."
I just literally saw that like 2 hours ago. So, but yeah, I was like, this is cool. There's some players missing, but this is cool. But no,
this is just so much going on.
Woj 16 seconds ago.
Let's let him load back up.
16 seconds ago, Woj, James Harden, the 76ers are meeting this weekend to negotiate his new deal.
That's fine. It's going to be a 2-year with a player option. My prediction. I don't think he's getting it.
So I do want to talk some NFL because sadly my team is staying in the headlines right now.
Don't bring that man's name into this conversation today. You don't have to. There's nothing that says we have to talk about this. This is stupid shit. We don't need to talk about it.
No.
Waste an assload of money.
No, this is
paying
actually
a man's legal bills.
This is actually
aiding and abetting.
really interesting. This is from Pro Football Talk. The hearing ended today. Deshaun Watson's hearing ended today. These were their notes from the meeting, from what they've heard from sources. First, the NFL interviewed 12 women who are making allegations against the Browns quarterback. 5 cases became the focal point of the league's presentation. Second, the NFL case included no evidence that Watson engaged in violence, threats, applied coercion, or used force. Third, the NFL admitted that the punishment it seeks, an indefinite suspension of at least 1 year, is unprecedented. Fourth, as to the argument that any punishment imposed on Watson must be proportional to punishment imposed on owners who may have violated the personal conduct policy, the NFL admitted that its director of security investigated the allegations of solicitation made against Patriots owner Robert Kraft, and no punishment was imposed. Based on those points, as we all know, the NFL Players Association will push for no discipline on Watson. Judge Sue Robinson will issue a decision eventually. She allowed for the two sides to issue their final statements and all that. And we're looking at probably July 11th for a decision. The interesting thing I saw there, when I read that, was they had no evidence of coercion or violence or forced anything, which I think ultimately is going to end up hurting his case, or hurting the NFL's case, I guess is the way to go about it.
Yeah, the thing that's going to seem the thing they're going to compare it to is the Robert Kraft situation. But that was like one time.
Yeah.
We have this. It's just like that magnetized. Like I'm just like so baffled by this whole situation. It's so hard to talk about as a fucking man. Like I don't really like talking about it because I would not want to be around that guy. Like that's just then quite like my main point of anger is like, so it just pains me to see the Cleveland Browns like continuously put themselves in this place of having their name be dragged through the mud and never be like, I would say the highest moment of the Cleveland Browns over the last 15 years was when OBJ came. And everyone's like, holy shit, here we go. This is actually going to be fun. Everything's going to try to actually work itself out. And then we know what happened. And now it's like, okay, we're going to try to figure this shit out. But we're going to do it with the dude who's tied to 69 different allegations of like weird shit. Like at the end of the day, it can be legal. Like I understand what he did was legal. I get that. It doesn't make it right.
No, I agree.
Right. So and like that's the part where to me it's like it's really hard to talk about this because like it's not right. So there's nothing I can say that's going to change the rule. There's nothing that anybody can say to like change the rules of the NFL. Let's just be clear. We live in a world where this NFL has like suspended dudes. Like there
2 games
rule book for this. This is all at the. Now it's this judge that's going to rule on it, but for the most part in our lives, suspensions have been ruled by one Roger Goodell. They have been his decision of a group counselor, whatever. They all convene together, but at the end of the day, it's his call. And there's just been different levels of punishment for shit that just doesn't match up. Let's suspend Josh Gordon for years because he likes to smoke weed and
drink. Don't forget the one he got for drinking because
sure,
when you're on
that's
that
fine
list
too. But like. That's a DUI. That's different. Like, I'm talking about the weed shit. Like, you fuck up, you fuck up. You crash your car, you get a DUI, you do that shit. But, like, now we're living in a world where the NBA is not drug testing for marijuana. Living where MLB is not drug testing for marijuana.
NFL is no longer drug testing for marijuana.
Cool, great. Apologize to Josh Gordon.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Like, apologize, and he can sue them for is it restitution?
Probably. Reparations,
I don't know legal
restitution,
words. My
reparations.
girlfriend's the one that's going to paralegal school, not me. I don't know law shit. Like he could clap back on that. Like, look at what his salary could have been if he would have continued on doing his shit, like playing his game. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, and you know what? Like, we got all these dudes like Hardy and hell Ray Rice, all these guys that were in domestic dispute, like and all this shit, beating the hell out of women, and they're like, oh, 8 games,
2-3 games,
yeah,
3
3 games. Like, what? Like, the NFL is just like the old fucking white men that run this sport are pissing me off to no end. And Shad Khan and all these other guys that are out there that like very minority group of people, they got to start making this shit better, because it's not going to get better until the owners like demand better out of their players. And if the owners just see similar behavior to what they're seeing from their players as what they get away with, hell, they'll invite it. You don't think the owner of the Browns probably like, damn, that's pretty impressive. You know, there's something about some of these
Don't forget he had his own issues. You had the pilot Flying J shit a few years ago, and he got away with it. Like, everybody else got in trouble but him, the owner of the company.
Maybe he's just a really horny dude. Deshaun Watson was hanging out with Mia Khalifa 4 years ago. We got that on video. She's in a maid outfit in his apartment shooting basketball, like trying to dunk on him in his apartment. Maybe this is just a horny dude. But you know what's even crazier to me is that, like, if this is like how do you not just like have one person? What part of you is so fucking disgusting that you have to go for 69 or some odd
66?
Sure. 69 just sounds like a better number for the situation.
I know.
Like, it's aggravating beyond belief. Because it's like, oh, he wanted a massage. He didn't want a massage. This dude went to Clemson. This dude lived in a world where he was king, where he could walk into any room. Hold on, we have breaking news. Sorry. Breaking news. Oh, the A's stadium plans clear hurdle. Gaine is very excited. She just sent that. Back to my rant. This fucking guy is just a disgusting human. If this is shit you like to do, and like maybe you just have no people skills. I think that's what it is. He's been pampered his whole fucking life. He went from being a national champion, Heisman contender at Clemson, to going to be the #1 pick to the Houston Texans. Did he beat Andrew Luck in that playoff game that they played?
No, I don't. I think
Did Colts win that game?
Colts won that one because that was the Deflategate year, wasn't it?
It was like 2018, 2019.
I think
2019 playoffs, 2018.
Deshaun might not have won a playoff game.
Right. So what the fuck are we talking about? Like, you guys are out here like sticking your necks out for a disgusting piece of shit who could throw the football well. I would rather have Baker Mayfield, because at least I know the guy is like fucking competent and doesn't treat people like shit. I just wouldn't want that guy in my building.
You know, he lost to Indianapolis, beat Buffalo in the wild card.
And Shug's saying NFL went to Watson and offered a deal for suspension. He declined it. I think
the deal was 1 year. That's why he declined it.
Have been talked about. Well,
I disagree there, because I mean up until
he doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say up until
have you heard his lawyer?
Yeah, it's not illegal to get a happy ending. That's what he said, and I was just like, "You said what?
What?
You're his lawyer? Like, what?"
I'm like poking my Twitter account with a stick, trying to get Woj and Shams to do something.
So the NFLPA tried to hassle it down to 6 or 7 games. You got that a little bit backwards, because the NFL was offering a year straight up, and without the NFL offered a year straight up. Right now they're looking for a year/indefinite, which means he has to apply in a year, and they'll see if he's done enough to come back, or they'll keep him suspended.
Honestly, is he just bad at this? Like, how? Like, you make what amount of money a year? Like, how do you not just have like 2 people? Like, bro, I'm just conjecturing here. Like, you got 69 different women, 66,
Bro.
66.
I
Sorry.
was about to say, how do you think we feel in Cleveland? We're sitting over here. I've been on record before.
Hey,
I
is
never
somebody going to
wanted this
tell him
deal.
that Cleveland doesn't have as many rub and tugs as Houston? Is anybody going to let this guy know? The Cleveland airport is not as big as the Houston one, my guy. That's a hub. That means hotels. Cleveland ain't that, son. Like Joakim Noah once said, one of my favorite quotes, who the fuck wants to vacation in Cleveland? Deshaun Watson, you know why he went to the Browns? Because it was the only team that be fucking stupid enough to take him. He totally was like,
don't forget the Panthers and Atlanta were too.
They backed out. What?
No, they didn't. He chose the Browns because the Browns for that fully guaranteed contract at his ass.
That's like the wildest part. They should be sued for aiding and abetting. Legal activity.
Colin, you know what's fucked up? If he gets the full year, the contract doesn't hit until next year. So the Browns make out in the deal. They get to the cap hit doesn't take place. Keep in mind, there's only a $1 million cap hit this year. So the entire
one quarterback who's retired at any price, who are you taking?
It's not even that.
I don't care. Answer the question. Any quarterback besides Baker Mayfield, they have to be retired. Who are you calling?
Maybe Andrew. I don't really know many good retired quarterbacks. Maybe Andrew Luck because he's still somewhat young. No.
I'm calling Ryan Fitzpatrick.
He's
never actually retired.
But
yeah, exactly, Shug. 66 women. Take the year. Also, guess what you get to do over the year, my guy? More massages. Maybe figure out how to do it right. Here's an idea. Get a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend.
That's the worst part about it.
But no, if he gets suspended for the year, the Browns will have all this cap rollover. They'll have even more cap space next year because his contract will only be $1 million on the books.
1 year because he said he'd only come back to the Browns because Deshaun
he'd probably re-sign for another 1 year just to play with Deshaun again, and the Browns would be able to give him even more money.
How the fuck Jadeveon Clowney for that? Like, you went to South Carolina and that piece of shit went to Clemson. Like, kind of fuck you for that energy. Like, I don't appreciate that energy at all. At all.
The NFL changes people, bro. The NFL changes people.
This is a very stressful day.
But yeah,
you know what? The Warriors are champions, and we haven't done a show since. Let's talk about that. Something happy, baby. Woo!
Happy for you.
Hey, you can't tell me you didn't smile watching Stephen Curry play basketball. That man was so beautiful playing basketball.
I watched 1 game in that, or 2 games in that series, and one was a Celtics win where I smiled. The other was a Celtics loss where I was watching with you on Xbox.
That was a good one. That was a good one. And then we won.
No smiling was done by this man.
I couldn't see you. So legally, we cannot confirm that he wasn't smiling over my happiness. I got a hat coming.
Oh God!
It's a good-looking hat. It's very, very plain. Very, very, very minimal. I wanted something with the Larry O on it. I like hats with Larry O. I had to bring them with me. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just talk about the Warriors parade. Full of stories. Okay, we get the Draymond Green beginnings of the fuck everybody else tour. It officially started at the Marina in San Francisco before the parade even began. We're watching. It's like a Monday. Like, we're just chilling. Like, me and Guy just chilling. It's like 1 o'clock. We're like, shh, let's go. And it was getting toasty. And everyone was getting toasty. I saw Stephen Curry, the happiest I'd ever seen that dude in my life. He showed up to what was called the Liddy Committee, which had Blake Anderson from Workaholics. Not E40. Fuck, another Bay Area rapper is there just having the time of his fucking life. and then Festus Ezeli's there. It's just like it just felt so good for them. Like a lot of people, and I gotta take a second, a lot of people give me a lot of shit because I'm a Warriors fan. But those people don't fucking realize that I watched like what 120 games over the last 2 years before this year where we were garbage after Kevin Durant left. Watching Jordan Poole score 35 points as a rookie, scoring a game-winning buzzer beater when it didn't matter in the double, whatever that little shitty bubble was where they played shitty basketball while everybody else played good basketball. Like that's the kind of stuff that where Draymond Green is going out and being not angry, but being like emotional about all this because they had to sit there for 3 years and listen to people conversate all the time about is this dynasty over, and the ability to tell them to fuck off is their right. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with Draymond Green going around and telling everybody who told them that they weren't going to do it again that they were wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially in sports, and when you back it up with how he played in game 5.5 and 6. Turn it around, put it in a all-time defensive performance. The second he dropped a 3 in game 6, I knew it was over. I knew it was a wrap. I started taking shots.
So we have some breaking news outside of the world of basketball. USC and UCLA have been notified their application to join the Big Ten has been accepted. The schools
I thought you were going to
play
say
in 2024.
the headless hunt has been denied.
No.
Damn it. So this is wild. And I was listening to Kirk Herbstreit, the great Kirk Herbstreit, talk about this earlier. Let's be very clear, folks. This is not over. And by not over, this is not the last pin to drop because we are 1 year away from Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how the world is going to go. I'm going to tell you. I've been planning for this my whole life. And by my whole life, I mean like since 9th grade. It's over half my life. And half of that other half was non-cognitive. So fuck off. I was sitting in band class listening to people practice other shit. Me and my buddy Ryan Oxendine. Shout out to the great Ryan Oxendine. Great human being. We planned the super conferences. Yeah. So we broke the entire country from Power 5 schools into 5 mega conferences where you would have, we planned this in 2010, like 2009, 2010. I planned that shit with the 1 seed getting a bye, and then the 4 5 play each other, and then 2, and then it goes into 4 plays, it goes into all that shit. Here we are. This shit's going down. Big 12. Bye-bye. Pac-9, Pac-10, whatever the fuck you want to call it now. Bye-bye. There's people coming in and out. If the only way the Pac-12 survives, I think you're going to see a Hail Mary this week of Gonzaga. You'll see a huge Hail Mary.
Somebody said there are people saying it makes all this is making it nearly impossible for Notre Dame to be an independent now.
Oh, it's over. It's done. It's done. Like the NCAA has completely lost control of this situation. What's his name? Mark, go fuck yourself. Yeah. Mark Everett, I think it's his name. Yeah. That dude has ruined college football to the point where, like, my dad hates it. My dad hates college football because of transfers. He thinks the transfer portal is the worst thing in the world, and there's nothing I can do to change his mind about that. And I don't care to change his mind about it because, I don't care if people don't like it. They're probably still going to watch football, but guess what? He doesn't care about it as much as he did.
Right.
He hates the idea that Jalen Hurts was able to go from winning a national championship with Alabama to going to competing for one with Oklahoma.
Okay, that situation's a little bit different because Jalen was a graduate transfer, so you've always been
on graduate transfer different, but we'll talk about some other people where we had guys leave Clemson over the last few years. You had guys leave Georgia like it's nobody's fucking business.
Justin Fields leaves Georgia for Ohio State.
Georgia, you're going to have 2 other dudes left Georgia this year. Like,
What's the wide receiver from Ohio State who goes to Alabama? Jameson Williams.
yeah, Williamson.
Yeah, Jameson Williams.
Jameson Williams. Is it Williamson or Williams?
Williams.
Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
Son. Got it. Okay.
By the way, talk to John Dorsey about him. That was awesome.
That's strange. How was that?
To find out he still lives in Cleveland was kind of weird, but it was like
apparently somebody wants to be in Cleveland their whole life, and it's John Dorsey, and it's why
he straight up said he's like, when I have to go to Detroit, I just drive the 6 hours round trip. I'm like, all right.
Okay,
like,
dude, Matt, that explains so much about the organization right there on its own. We can just dissect that.
It was
that's
cool.
Breaking news, by the way. You can put that like breaking news.
It was cool to just
John
talk
Dorsey
to him.
Drives to Lions Browns games.
Yeah, it was just cool to talk to him without the cameras in front and just talk to him one-on-one about football and their draft. And yeah, it was like that was probably my favorite day ever at work. Whoa, Colin not happy about this. Juan Toscano Anderson, member of the Golden State Warriors championship team, has reached a deal with the LA Lakers.
Good for him. At least he'll actually play. Because that's a man that was fucking grinding with us last year. So I'm not, no. Here's the thing, man. You got me all wrong. Like, you got me all wrong, okay? I have the same relationship with my bench guys from 2018 to 2020 that I do with my Duke basketball players. I want to see you succeed. Paolo Banchero being the number one pick. Let me see my boys succeed. 5 Duke players got drafted that night. Shout out to Wendell Moore. Shout out to Trevor Keels. Shout out to Mark Williams. Shout out to AJ Griffin. Shout out to P5 Paolo. Going P1, actually, in the race.
Colin and I were so happy about that.
Oh my God.
Because we were people who were like, he needs to go number 1.
On my birthday, and I was like, this is the littest thing. This is the Liddy committee engaged.
I'm on vacation, and Colin and I are calling each other happy.
Like, this is going insane. Like, actually nuts. Futures are hitting. Like, it's crazy. It's actually nuts. So, I want to see those guys. Like, when Quinn Cook got signed to the Lakers, you did not hear a negative thing out of this mouth. Very similar to Quinn Cook getting a deal with the Lakers to JTA getting a deal with the Lakers. Lakers know what's up. They know good talent. The Lakers know the Warriors manifest the best out of their players. He's just spent 3 years. That dude, the thing that hurts the most is that he's 95th Street, East Oakland. That's why he's number 95. He's born and raised in East Oakland. He just won a fucking championship with the Golden State Warriors. I bet he comes back like a Leandro Barbosa in like 8 years.
JaVale McGee
ride that ride with Jonathan Kuminga and James Wiseman and Moses Moody.
McGee going to the Mavericks.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Remember that night when Dirk and Mark Cuban showed up at DeAndre Jordan's house? One of the wildest nights in NBA history when we heard.
And then he goes to the Clippers house
because he didn't let them in. Didn't he not let them in, or did he let them in and they had like a whole dinner and then he still went to the Clippers?
No, he didn't let the Clippers were inside.
The Clippers were inside the house and he didn't let them
and flipped them.
That's like an episode of Entourage that Mark Cuban was like, guys, I have an idea from something that literally just happened to me like 2 days ago.
The Miami Heat are more likely landing spot for Donovan Mitchell than KD.
That's fine. That's what they need. They don't need Kevin Durant. That would come in and fuck the whole thing up. They'd have to get rid of Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Now they can just trade Duncan Robinson.
USC officially announces that they're joining the Big Ten 1 minute ago.
How? How is that? How do you officially announce that?
They put out something on Twitter and a press statement.
How?
Press release.
How? You know what this really fucks up? The Rose Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to watch Oregon play USC in the Rose Bowl. Nobody wants that. Well, like, And let's not say we're
like I
talking
said,
about like
there are
USC is a good football program right now.
there
You
are
want to get me
rumors-
fucking going on some college football? You know what I do when I drive around in my car? I listen to Southern sports radio. Okay, all we talk about is college football. I cannot wait to turn on the. I might just drive. Oh wait, I have a 5-hour car ride to Asheville tomorrow. I will be listening to nothing but Southern people bitch and moan about the destruction of college football. It's
And Colin, there are rumors that Oregon will join either the Big Ten or the SEC.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
With everybody else.
No, this. Okay, so we got to go back to that thing I was talking about before. We got to break this whole thing up. West, middle, east. Deal with it. You get 20 teams in each thing. You split it up into 10s. You got the Big East. You got the South. You got, I don't know. You got the South.
They've talked about just doing 2 super conferences of 20 teams each and calling it a day.
The fact that I know that South Carolina would make the cut just makes me so happy. Every member of the SEC is guaranteed. Guaranteed, baby. Love it. The contracts we got going.
What's up, Burrows?
You know, Matt, I heard if you inject cane sauce, it cures COVID.
I had canes earlier, and I ate some with the sauce, and my sinuses, the stuffiness cleared out.
Boom.
And then
cane sauce. See, warning: Raising Cane's does not actually cure COVID.
Cure COVID, yeah. But it did clear the stuffiness for a little bit, and that was nice.
Okay, so can confirm provides COVID relief. Raising Cane's providing COVID relief since just now. Back to you, Matt.
Holy shit, the numbers for the JaVale McGee contract. 3 years, $20 million.
3 years, $20 million. That's like
roughly $6 million, 6 and change a year. Hey, how old he is, I was not expecting that. That's all.
Man's a champion.
3-time champion.
Wow.
I mean, man, I'm excited. The Watt League is starting to take shape for fantasy football. Everyone's messaging me, yo, when are we getting final roster numbers? When are we getting the draft date? And I'm just like, Colin and I have to talk about that.
I think we should redraft the whole league.
Everybody's giving me keepers and all that.
That's fine. It's not their league. Half these people don't even know what's going on. This thing ain't like people keeping shit only works when you draft knowing you're going to keep them.
And people are.
You mean people did?
Oh, no.
I'm talking about like you're picking people from teams that were not drafted with the implicit discretion to know that they were going to have to keep 2 of those people next year. That's my argument.
They didn't. No, we said we'll talk after, but we said keeping was optional. So some people have kept, some people are not keeping.
That's not my point. That's not my point.
We'll talk.
I'm just saying, if you want to do a keeper league, you got to start it knowing it's going to be a keeper league.
We did.
Did we?
Yeah, we told everybody last year it was a keeper league.
Did we?
Yeah.
I just don't remember football season.
Burrows, didn't we? Burrows in the chat. Burrows, didn't we say last year it was as a keeper league, 2 people?
Maybe. If we did, I just don't know anything.
It's been Colin, let's be honest, it's been a long year.
I don't honestly remember
a lot. You remember sports. Actual sports is what you remember. And Star Wars. And movies.
Barely. Guys, do I have a... oh, shit. I'm going to have to get a phone number for this. Now I'm looking up shit. Okay. Well, is there anything else to talk about? Is anybody else signed? Okay. It's like, we got to make some KD predictions. What do you think everything is going to... when do you think everything's going to fall into line?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I think we're going to see this situation not... I think it's going to be like James Harden, where it doesn't play when he first was traded from the Thunder, and it doesn't play out until right before training camp.
Okay, so like I don't even like have a team on here though, so like I honestly forgot who was on my team, man.
I can pull it up. That you have the ability to, because you're a
Oh,
co-commissioner.
oh. Leave league, maybe. Thinking about it. All right, folks. Kevin Durant's probably going to go to the Phoenix Suns. And everybody say it's not going to happen. Guess what? The Phoenix Suns are going to keep adding like a first-round pick until it makes it happen. And that's just the way it is.
Why does Chris Palmer hate Bradley Beal?
Everybody hates Bradley Beal. Like, what has Bradley Beal actually done? Meaningful.
No, I know. I'm just.
He made like an All-NBA team, and it was third team like one time.
Yeah, and that was when they were contending. You're trying to contend.
Cool. Like, guy should be. Honestly, I would take CJ McCollum over Bradley Beal.
He said he thinks. We'll talk. We'll see. Well, real quick, there's something we forgot to mention that I know you and I are both gonna laugh about and meme the shit out of. Bo Cruz got cut today by the Utah Jazz.
I saw that and I feel bad for him, man. You know, that's Warriors. Pick that man up. Pick up that man. Cowards.
I mean, granted, he's not as good as he was in the movie, but still.
Fuck that. Hey, oh my God. Like, he can be. He totally. I saw his potential. He could bring the ball up the court. 6'9", bringing the ball up the court. 235. Come on now, let's go. Oh, cruise missile.
I mean, he is only 26.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Give him $2 million. How do I look up these settings? Oh, previous leagues. Look at previous leagues. Okay. All right, folks. Let's just go ahead and talk about it. Who should Colin keep?
You already gave me your keepers.
Nothing is official until draft day.
I'm just saying, like I
don't know if I want to keep Devontae Adams. I'll be completely honest. That's a sketchy ass situation.
I can understand that.
That's a sketchy ass shit. I am keeping Travis Kelce. He's gonna have 2,200 receiving yards this year. All right, he might catch every ball Patrick Mahomes throws. Oh God. You know why I think that? Because when I did an ESPN mock draft the other day, they had Marquez Valdez-Scantling and McCole Hardman like one rank from each other, and they were in like the 130s overall. Yeah. No one can predict.
Where was Juju Smith-Schuster in that?
Juju Smith-Schuster was lower than them.
That's my point.
Like, it's nuts. It's actually nuts. But the crazier part is that I could keep Rashad Bateman.
I don't think you'll have anyone. I mean, I don't think you have anyone trying to draft him high, I guess, is where I'm going.
I don't know, man. Like, Matthew Berry tweets about him every day. You get like 10 people in a league, 2 of them follow ESPN, and they're like, Matthew Berry said Rashad Bateman was good. So, must be so. Yeah, I'm going to be real pissed if I have to keep fucking Travis Kelce and Devontae Adams.
You don't have to keep them.
Well, no. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, yeah.
But then, like Devin Singletary and Zeke and Elijah Mitchell and Damian Williams, if I could revamp my whole James Conner. James Conner doesn't suck at football, but like he ain't
it. Burrow said, "I know who I want in Casey's offense." Tell you right now, it's Travis Kelce.
That is correct, folks. I think that'll do it.
Yep.
Real sports. Gave you everything you needed to know. Let's get one last look at the Twitter board. No new news. That's it.
Outside of
recap, Kevin Durant is probably going to either Phoenix. I think it should be OKC. Honestly, I think it should be OKC. If you put Shea and KD and Chet and Poku and Giddy. Oh my God. Yo, that would be nuts. No, they don't have the picks. They got the picks. The Nets have no picks. The Nets gave up all their picks for James Harden.
And apparently the Nets want pieces that'll help them keep competing right now. Which
Sure.
I understand because they don't have picks.
Josh Giddey. Maybe not.
I was about to say, you got to pair him with Ben Simmons, who, again, neither can shoot.
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. The Nets become the official team of Australia.
You just got to bring back Matthew Dellavedova, and you got
They just re-signed Patty Mills. What the fuck are we talking about? Bring them on! All of the Aussies. I'm even wearing Aussie colors today. Let's go.
Oh, God.
This is a Kevin Durant jersey.
Why is it green?
It's Oakland colors. Oakland A's colors.
Okay.
Never released. They didn't actually use this. This was on DH Gate. So.
Yeah, I like going to DH Gate for jerseys.
It's pretty lit though, right? Like, imagine the Warriors walked out in this. Like the A's, that'd be sick.
DH Gate for jerseys is the truth. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's already coming from the same factory that Nike gets it from.
Exactly.
So
what
are we talking about?
And I love when people are like, "Oh, it's a knockoff." I'm like, you can't tell
It's
this.
no knockoff if it's made in the same place. It just doesn't come in the same bag. It doesn't get shipped as nice. You gotta iron that shit out.
Employees swipe it real quick. What? This got missed.
Okay. One last check. Nothing has happened. That'll do it, folks. This has been Real Sports. We'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. We had Shug in the chat. We had Joseph in the chat. We had Connor in the chat. We had Jeremy in the chat up earlier. Thanks, everybody. Matt, tell everybody what's going on this week on what COVID edition.
I got a Thor: Love and Thunder review with Nick coming in the next few days, and I think that's it. I have review embargo for Thor is up to 5th. So on Tuesday, Thor: Love and Thunder. Depending on how COVID's treating me, I will be on Spin from the Reel on Monday with Jeff and Allison, or I might just be behind the scenes taking care of the wheel because of how I'm feeling. We'll see.
Well, Matt, we wish you nothing but positive vibes and feel better. Don't, leave your room. Okay.
Oh, and if you haven't already watched Rise, the Giannis Antetokounmpo movie is actually a really fun and interesting watch. It's not a great movie.
I do still need to watch it. I'm excited to watch it. Probably won't be till next week, but I'm excited to see it. There's just so much content. I'm still just in shock from what I saw in The Boys.
And we still got Stranger Things tomorrow and The Boys,
which I don't get to watch until Monday.
Why? Yeah, why are you going to? We'll talk off screen. Why are you going to Nashville? I gotta know.
Grandparents are there for a week, and it's like they got a house, and it's like go up to the mountains and waterfall, or watch Stranger Things. I could delete Twitter. Honestly, I might delete Twitter for the weekend to be completely. I just changed my password on Twitter for the first time in 8 years. I didn't know my Twitter password for the longest time, and I just changed it today, and I feel like a free man. I've always been afraid to delete it on bad days, where I know I'm not going to be able to not get spoiled. I just have to, in order to not get spoiled by Stranger Things, you have to, mute every name in the show.
Yeah, that's why when people...
I'm muting Steve Harrington. If they touch a fucking hair on his head, I will...
Watch Netflix subscription numbers drop.
Lose it. Oh, I might. Oh, don't even test me. Don't even test me. They already, HBO knows. HBO knows. They killed Daenerys. They got James Marsden off of Westworld. Woo! Spoilers, he came back on Sunday.
But yeah, it's... Also, if you haven't watched it yet, watch Kenobi, the finale.
Yeah, we'll talk about it eventually.
Yeah, I think Wednesday next week is what's being talked about.
That sounds fine.
Yeah, so.
All right, folks, that's it. Real Sports, we're out. Peace!